Welcome to the Flickcast, the podcast about movies, TV, pop culture, and pretty much anything else. I'm Chris Ulrich, and with me, of course, Joe Dilworth. Joe, what is happening, my friend?
Well, right now, things are burning, and the usual summer thing.
Can you get a cream or something for that, like some medicine, maybe?
No, I'm not talking about something I have to go to the doctor for. But
good,
yes.
Because I don't want to go to the doctor right now either. Damn.
No, and so no, there's literal wildfires going on. I don't think it's any secret that I live in the great state of Oregon, if you're not from here. But Oregon, and yes, things are burning, and there's smoke in the air, and winds, and cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. It's crazy.
Well, let's hope by the time this show comes out, that stuff will be snuffed out, like in California. California's on fire too. But
yeah,
I saw a photo, and I'm sure that you saw the same one of the UPS truck, right? Is that in Oregon or is that in California?
I think that one was in Oregon. But,
okay, because that was freaky, man.
Yeah.
It's like no filter and it's totally red outside. That's some crazy shit. Like Mars, like the surface of Mars or something. It was bizarre.
There's quite a few places, pictures coming out of various spots, unnervingly close to me in Oregon that look like the surface of Mars as well, and it's a little scary. But
if you suddenly have to run out of this episode and flee, then I'll understand.
Yeah, no kidding. So.
That's crazy. Well, I'm glad you're back, because last week I had to do the show, or last time I should say, I had to do the show all by myself. Well, not all by myself, because Rick Marshall came on, so that was fun. But,
so it was a good show then, is what you're saying? No,
it was okay. I mean, it was okay. He's, the thing about Rick is he's very knowledgeable. He knows like probably more than I do about nerdy pop culture stuff, and he's like a professional journalist and broadcaster, and he's won awards and shit. So it's like
cool.
I'm a moron compared to him. So if you're listening, Rick, thanks again for coming on. That was cool. But I am glad you're back, Joe. So don't worry.
Well, thank you. I think that this time around in the show history and lore, we're doing quite well at keeping on, and I think we're both doing quite well at minimizing interruptions or reasons why we can't do the show. So that's really good.
So far, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we have Patreon now, so we have to make sure that we satisfy the patrons.
We have to be professional now. So, yeah.
Yes, and if you want to support us on Patreon, feel free. We have a Patreon. There's lots of links, but it's basically easy to find. It's patreon.com/TheFlickcast. That was really difficult. I'm sure you can find that.
Yay! And we have like 3 tiers that will easily allow you to support the show without going broke, and depending on how much you're willing to give, you get a little something extra too. So
a little something extra, like all the stuff we just recorded before we started recording.
That's right. And stuff we'll record after we're done recording.
That's right, and that's going to be fun. That's going to be a deep dive or a deeper dive into the films and the directorial what do you call it, au revoir of David Lynch. I don't even know what the word is.
Yeah. So
it's something like that. It sounds really good. What is the word? I don't even know. I'm not smart.
Over, I don't know. Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
I totally know what you mean, but I just
it's his whatever his body of work is. Say his body.
It's a fancy word, but
it is a fancy French word. I don't speak no fancy French.
But yeah, that's a little taste of what you can get if you're a patron. Is some bonus episodes, behind the scenes stuff, and general unscripted chatter as well.
Unscripted chatter, the best kind of chatter, because this is so scripted right now.
This is very tightly scripted. I mean,
I have my notes. Don't get me wrong, but
no,
I wouldn't say it's scripted per se. But anyway, so that's the Patreon. Thank you if you support us, we appreciate it. And if you just want to listen to the show, that's fine too. Subscribe, and maybe drop us a review or a rating or something, and hopefully a good one. I'd appreciate that.
Well, and the other incentive, too, to listen till the end of the show is to find out all the places that you can find us and listen to us. Although I guess you may have already done that if you're listening to the show, but whatever.
That's true. You probably already know where to find the show if you're listening to
the
show.
Yeah.
But it won't come as a surprise to you. What is this podcast in my feed? I don't understand.
It just started. That's what we need to do, is figure out a way just to auto-broadcast to everyone's phones.
Well, that's called radio, I think.
Sure, but no, I was thinking more along the lines of the Amber Alerts that you get a Flickcast alert. That would be great.
Didn't U2 do that with a song on Apple one time? They made everybody take a U2 album or something. I don't know. You're an Android user, I know.
No, I remember that, and people were very unhappy about that. So.
Unless you love U2. I don't despise U2. They're fine.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I'm like, here's a band that's giving their album free to everyone that uses this service. I don't understand why. It's like if that's not interesting to you, don't listen to it. I didn't get.
Well,
what
and it's also you can easily delete it too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
So anyway, I guess people are mad they didn't opt into it.
You can't
I guess
do
I can understand
nice
that,
things for people, apparently.
You shouldn't do nice things. All good deeds are wait, no good deed goes unpunished.
Yes,
what they say.
that's how that goes.
So, all right. Well, we should stop with this bullshit and move on to the actual show. Do you think?
We should. We have things to talk about this week.
Hard segues are my bread and butter, baby.
Ah, there you go. I like it.
No subtlety here. We're going to go right into it. So, what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Dune? Or
Yeah.
do you want to start with?
No, let's talk about the Dune trailer. Right. I mean, obviously, by the time you hear this, it'll have been out for a while, and
a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, but that's okay. I think it's.
Well, it's not like the movie's going to go away unless it gets pushed. I mean, right now it's supposed to come out in December, right? So
yes, and so that gives us plenty of time to talk about and dissect the trailer, and I'm sure between now and then we'll get another trailer as well. However,
oh yeah, sure. So what did you think? Give me some reactions.
I was really, really impressed. I mean. This is, I guess the first thing that kind of struck me as interesting is that it wasn't just a trailer. It was like a full 3-minute trailer, which, nowadays trailers are usually only, a minute and a half or a minute or something like that, especially this far out. But we got 3 minutes of footage, which I think it did a fine job setting the story, introducing the characters, even though maybe necessarily not all of them were named. But it showed us who the stars are of the movie. It, brought the story. But I mean, more than that, I don't know. I thought it was really great. I'm, as we'll discuss in another time, I'm a huge fan of David Lynch's Dune. Honestly, I've only ever read the first book, and that was a long time ago. I haven't read any of the subsequent sequels and prequels and sidequels and editions that have been published over the years.
And there's a lot.
Yes, there are a lot. So I would say that I'm coming at this as I did with Lynch's film, not as a diehard, true hardcore fan of the book where I know like all the minutia and they left that out or that doesn't look right. So I'm not that kind of fan of Dune, and nothing against those that are, but that's not where I'm coming from. So I've liked, as I said, I like Lynch's Dune. I liked the miniseries that was on TV, but this just
no. You can't like that one.
Okay, I don't like it. It was garbage. It was terrible.
No, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. No offense to everybody who worked on it except the director.
Yes.
Nah, it's fine. You know what? It was, as we talked about before, it was a more faithful take on the book, I guess, technically.
And this looks like it is too. So
it looks like they're trying to. Well, it's going to be 2 movies, which is one thing, because the David Lynch version, which I liked, leaves a lot out, and it's definitely different than the book too. But I always thought that the book would be. I mean, the common wisdom in Hollywood was always it was like unfilmable because it's so complex and so But now, I mean, maybe not. Maybe we have the technology. But I thought it would look great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read the book recently, and I was watching it, going, "Oh, I know who that guy is. Oh, there's that guy. Oh, there's that." And so
yes.
And so it was good. I liked it, and I liked the cast. Although I'm sure there's lots of people out there right now watching the trailer going, "Man, they totally ripped off Star Wars. What's going on?" Right? Am I right? I'm right, aren't I? I mean, there's fanboys out there going, "Man, this is totally ripped off of Star Wars."
Right? Yeah.
They've even got that. They got Poe Dameron in there. What's going on?
I know. Yeah. No. There's going to be people like that. I mean, yeah. But
here's a clue, folks. George Lucas ripped off Dune.
Yes.
Up until even calling the shit that Han Solo was smuggling spice. The spice mines. The spice must flow. I mean, it's total ripoff. Sand crawlers, sandworms, all kinds of stuff is totally from Dune.
Dune was like, what, 15 years or so before Star Wars?
19 in the early 60s, I think. Yeah.
So I think it looks great. The cast is awesome. I mean, I'm not watching it for, well, let me see what they left out and see how true they are to the story, because I think we've discussed in many previous shows that things that are on print can't necessarily be translated word for word or scene by scene to film or TV. So yeah, no, I think this looks good.
Well, I think as I was watching it, they hit a lot of the main sort of beats of the book. I mean, you see Paul and you see the Gom Jabbar and you see, are you a human or an animal? You see all that stuff. And Caladan, and then they go to Arrakis, which is Dune. And then, you see the major players. You see Duncan Idaho and you see Gurney and you see all those people, even Dr. Yui, even though they don't mention him, but you see him because you can see his the little diamond on his forehead. And you see, some fighting and of course at the end, spoilers, you see the sandworm because that's what people are coming to see. They want to see the sandworm. And I thought it looked really good.
That was good.
It's hard to make something and have it be original, quote unquote original, because we've sort of seen that before. I mean, even in the David Lynch version, they have sandworms, obviously. So It's like, oh, it looked really good. Somebody pointed this out when I was watching some breakdown of the trailer. At the end, when you see the sandworm coming up out of the sand, as opposed to coming out of the water. Come on, Chris. And so it's sitting there, and it kind of looks like an eye, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I can see that. That's true.
Yeah, with all the little tendrils and little whatever those things were in there. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm totally in. I hope it can actually come out in December. I'll be very excited to see it. And and the director's done some fine work before. Whatever you might think of Blade Runner 2049 or Arrival or actually one of my favorite movies of his is Sicario, which is not sci-fi at all, but.
No,
but
I'm a big fan of a lot of his past movies, including I thought Blade Runner 2049 was pretty brilliant, and I have great love for that movie. Arrival, I thought, was also a fantastic movie. Sicario. So I think all of those kind of gave me, I don't know if you want to call it faith, but, I figured this movie, the story was in good hands with him. I mean, I don't know. He puts together really good movies. So,
what my fear was that the main actor, Timothy Chalamet, or however you say it, Chalamet, would be weak, but he actually looked really good. I thought he did a good job in the trailer from what we saw, which is, and the odd thing was, I'm a huge fan of Jason Momoa, but to me, he was sort of the anachronism in the whole thing.
Right.
He almost like stood out weirdly wrong for some reason. I don't know why that is. It just, he didn't quite fit in, which is weird, and maybe that's just the trailer. But it was cool to see Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah.
And Dave Bautista. Actually, it's funny. You got all this sort of, you got the DC group, you got Marvel people, you got, you got all the,
you got Star Wars, you got everybody in there. You got Marvel.
Yeah, you got everybody. Yeah.
I actually thought at first, I don't know how to say this right, but Jason Momoa, I think if he is leading a movie, I think he's fantastic. I think he's got the chops for that because he gets cast in roles that are perfect for him. I thought he did fine as an ensemble in Justice League, even the one we saw. Maybe he was kind of the one reservation I had when the cast was announced. But the more I thought about it, and the more things I've thought about that he's been in, I'm like, he's kind of perfect for Duncan, Idaho. And after seeing him in the trailer, I'm like, yeah, I'm sold. He's good.
Well, he physically, he's absolutely great. And he's, of course, there for the ladies, which is weird, I suppose. Sure. Or the gentlemen, either way. But I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the takes they used in the trailer, but I don't know. It struck me as odd for some reason, and I don't know why. I'm sure he's fine in it. I'm sure he'll be, it'll be wonderful. I'm sure that I'm totally overreacting, or not overreacting, but I'm just totally reacting to something. Maybe I'm just off today or whatever, but it's just, I don't know. It just struck me as strange. But everybody I was sort of had reservations about turned out to be like, oh, this guy is going to be good. I thought the guy playing Paul, I thought was.
He was.
I saw him in. Did you see Little Women?
I didn't. Greta
Gerwig's movie. Yeah, he was really good in that. So I actually kind of figured he had the acting chops. I liked that movie. It was really good. You should see it.
I might have to check it out.
Anyway, sorry. What were you saying?
I sort of think Paul Atreides is. I don't want to equate him with like Superman or Batman or Luke Skywalker, but it is a pretty specific, iconic character. I think anybody else in Dune you can kind of pepper with name actors, and as you said, Jason Momoa for the ladies, but Paul Atreides is pretty pretty specific, and the main focus of the story, depending on how you tell it. So I almost felt that it was better that, and like you said, he's done other movies, but to most people, he's going to be an unknown. And I think maybe that's kind of the better way to do it, instead of trying to, cast either, the hot young actor or someone that is, visually, stunning. And not that he isn't. I'm not saying he's ugly at all, but just saying that,
Wow.
I think you had to kind of go with an unknown and pick someone that you knew could do the role.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. I mean, you have to think that he could have picked anybody for any part. 'Cause I'm sure that most actors would be thrilled to work in the movie, and would be thrilled to work with him. So Denis Villeneuve, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I always mess that up.
I know. That's why I hesitated.
I think that was it. I was hesitating to use it because I'm like, every time I say his name, I fuck it up somehow. So I'm sorry. I know it's Denis, so I'll just say that.
I would totally get it wrong, but
I would, even if I met him in person, I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I'm just an asshole. I apologize.
I am a little surprised at, and maybe it's because of the age of Paul Atreides, but having Oscar Isaac playing Duke Leto Atreides, I thought at first I was like, isn't he too young for that? And maybe he's not. But then seeing him in the trailer, I'm like, no, he's definitely has that persona, and that gravitas to play Duke Leto. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, he's probably too young, really, in real life to be that kid's father, but maybe not. Who knows? But you know what? It's all magic and the Bene Gesserit, so who knows? Right?
Exactly.
Maybe they just did, look what happens later with Aaliyah and everything. So I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but it's like, so it's going to be cool. Again, I still have love for the David Lynch version, which is totally over the top and crazy, which we'll talk about later.
Sure.
But I'm very excited, and I will definitely. Well, I'd like to say I'll definitely be there on day one, but you don't know if I will be, and I don't know.
Well,
if I will be there, so.
I mean, that's the other thing, not to talk about our least favorite subject, but it'll be, just to kind of skim it, it'll be interesting to see if it meets its current release date, and how quickly it will be also available on digital. Honestly, if it's still coming out in December, it will probably be me waiting until digital to see it, but, personal choice again.
Oh man, that'll be a bummer because this needs to be on the big screen.
No, I get it.
I get it,
and I agree with you.
I might just wait. If it's not going to be.
Yeah.
If this shit ain't resolved by then, I might have to just wait. Denny, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. But it definitely should be seen.
Wait till the second one comes out and you can just watch them both at the same time.
Yeah, because I'm sure they'll do some kind of, as they do with sequels, like some theaters will do a marathon with both movies, and that would be cool, because hopefully by then, as you said, everything will be a little bit more stable, and it would be a good double feature to see.
Be nice to think so, right?
Yeah.
Because the second part of the book is the trippier part too. So they're saving all the really druggy stuff for the sequel, right?
Yeah, I kind of wonder if that end shot in the trailer with the worm is like pretty close to how the first movie ends, kind of thing.
Oh, that's interesting. And that actually looks like a pretty small worm if the proportions are right or the scale is right. It looks like a baby, because I'm trying to remember if he. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. We don't have to do a deep dive into Dune the book, because a lot of people are going to do that. And again, I just read it recently, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. Although, actually, read it is not the correct word. I had someone read it to me. I did the audiobook this time.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Which I highly recommend, actually. It was quite good. So
I may have to check that out. It was in high school when I read the first book, and as everybody knows, that was a long time ago for me.
Yes, and you were probably high then too.
Yeah, probably, because that's all we did back then in the 80s was do smack and stuff.
Wait, I thought it was coke in the 80s.
Well, no, not when you were in high school. That was way too expensive for high school. So
yeah, it is pretty expensive. Yeah. I've heard. I don't really know.
Yes, so I've been told.
Asking for a friend.
Yes, exactly. So.
Dune, the spice must flow.
Yes, absolutely, and the reels must spin in the theater. So
exactly. You know who I thought would have been an interesting director for a Dune movie would have been Ridley Scott, just because he's very visual, and it's always seemed to me like a hugely visual kind of movie, which obviously
Nice
it is with what
segue.
we're seeing now.
Nice segue.
I think. Well, I'm trying to get better at this podcasting thing. We've only been doing it for like 400 episodes, so
Right.
you would think
Yeah.
that some of it would rub off at some point, or some scale point would rub off.
We'll get it together one of these days.
One of these days. So yes, Ridley Scott, I thought would have been a great Dune director. However, it didn't happen. It's not going to happen probably. He'll just keep making Alien sequels or prequels, which is fine. You do that, Ridley. You do you.
Apparently, he is preparing a new Alien movie.
I know. That's what I said. That's why I said it.
And, maybe when we do the deep dive on Ridley Scott, we'll talk about the Alien prequels because I have opinions about those as well.
We will talk about them. Oddly enough, that's sort of trending. Prometheus is trending on HBO Max right now.
Nice.
Because of Raised by Wolves, I'm sure, which we're going to talk about right now.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Raised by Wolves is produced by Ridley Scott, but he did direct the pilot, right? Or the first episode?
He directed the first 2 episodes, actually.
Oh, first 2 episodes. Yeah. Okay. So obviously you have, I don't know if it's obvious, I shouldn't say that, but I assume that you have some opinion about Raised by Wolves.
Do I have an opinion? Yes, and it is that I love it.
Okay, we're done. That's it. That's
our
show. Thanks.
That's it. So thank you for listening. It was great.
Yeah.
You should go. In fact, you should go watch that right now.
Go watch Raised by Wolves.
Yes. I will.
Sure. Go watch it, and we'll wait.
Yeah.
Go watch the first 3 episodes. We'll wait. Come back.
Yep. Are you back yet?
Okay. No. Seriously, it's here. The thing about it for me is that at the beginning I was like, wow, this is really crazy. It's kind of weird, and it almost seems like, and I've said this before on different episodes. It's nothing against anybody from other countries. I'm not like, against foreign directors or whatever. But to me, it felt like a foreign director had made the sort of.
It did.
It felt like it's like a European kind of film, like an art house film or something. I mean, it's a TV show, obviously, but it was sort of, I don't know, funky is the word, but it was weird, and I dug it, and it just got weirder, and then this whole thing with her like flying around, going and screaming and all that stuff, it's bizarre. Like, what the hell is that about?
I mean, you could
cool,
definitely see the influences in it. But to me, and I said this on Twitter, I think that it all kind of gelled into something that felt new and fresh. It really felt like I was watching something that, I know this is going to sound stupid, but watching something I hadn't seen before. And I mean that in that it wasn't just like a by the numbers story. It very easily could have embraced all of the TV tropes, and it could have gone, specific ways that everybody expects, and still probably would have been a fine show, but it chose not to. And it just really felt fresh and new. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think, you mentioned in a previous episode that very few people know sci-fi and know how to build sci-fi like Ridley Scott. And I think that is very true. It was great. And to have him direct the first 2 episodes, because I even felt the 3rd episode still kept kind of the tone and flavor. And obviously with a TV series, you take care of that. You make sure that directors know, tone and things like that. But I don't know. It was pretty great. It felt like a world, a completely built world, and it was interesting, and I'm definitely on board for the whole season and however many more after that they want to do.
You think it'll get more seasons? It's not that you could put much stock in Rotten Tomatoes necessarily, but it's not highly rated. It's only like 70%.
Screw them. But sorry.
Yeah, I tend to. That's okay. I tend to agree with that assessment. I just, my one question, and maybe this is what I was reacting to when I first saw it, was that it wasn't particularly accessible to me. I was having 2 androids be the leads. They're kind of emotionless in a way, and they're like, it's hard to get interested in them. And then, I don't want to spoil anything, so we're going to talk about what happens in the first episode for a second. So this is a spoiler if you haven't watched it.
Spoiler.
Having all the kids die.
That was actually kind of tough.
I was like,
to me.
Huh. Well, me too. That's another thing too. I think that started putting me off a little bit. I don't like to see things about children dying.
I guess the cool thing.
The cool thing about kids dying. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
The only upswing to that was that there wasn't. It wasn't graphic, thankfully.
Well, that's true.
So that bothered me, and then so yeah, massive spoilers. So to me, it was kind of the 1-2 punch that in the first episode, all of the kids save one that we're introduced to die, and then in the second episode, we meet a whole new group of kids on a space station, and all but 5 of those die, in theory.
Yeah.
So I was
There's
like,
a lot of death.
wow. And
well, it's not just that. Yeah, it's the kids, and then it's her going to the ship and basically just crashing the ship with like innocent people on it. I mean, quote unquote innocent people.
Right.
There's a lot of death. So I guess the question is, much like David in Prometheus, if you will, are the androids or the robots the good guys? I kind of feel like Travis Fimmel's character is probably the good guy, and maybe he's going to end up being the hero at this point, because everyone else, especially the robots, although Father seems a little bit more sympathetic than Mother, seems like kind of a not cool. But I don't know. It's
like
weird.
Any good story, they're complex characters, and Mother is obviously she is a mother in every sense of the word, and do not get between her and her kids, even if you are a father.
Yeah, no kidding.
But she seemed to be kind of catch a bit of self-awareness in that I need a check here because I might be going too far, and to me that seems to be why she brought Father back. Boy, we're really going into spoilers, so yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, please stop and go watch it and then listen to this. But that seemed to me why, even though she kind of still only slowly trusted him, that seemed to be why to me that she brought him back. She's like, I do realize that I just went on a killing spree, and I need a little bit of check, but also someone that will understand that if need be, I'll do this again. So.
Well, yeah, they're both not the same either. I mean, she's like one of those, what do they call it, necromancer or something like that. She's a killer robot or whatever,
right.
And he's not, obviously. Here's my question about the show in general. What do you think the impetus was to have them be androids in the first place? I mean, I know Ridley Scott's fascinated with the idea of androids being human and what is the nature of humanity, etc.
Right.
Like a good sci-fi story should probably, but it's like, why have them be androids? Why not just have it be people? But then I guess, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there was discussions about that. So is it based on a book or anything?
I don't think it is. I think
it's original IP. Wow.
Yeah, I believe it is an original creation, and I'm sure someone in listening to this will correct us if we're wrong. But no, I think, oddly enough, I think having, especially Mother being an android, her actions to me are a little bit more horrific, because the Mother and Father were created, until we find out she's a necromancer, but were created to essentially care for and take care of children and raise them on another planet. And she's like, even though maybe you could say that she was kind of prodded into this, but it's like she's a stone cold killer and does it without hesitation. So it's like, whoa, that's a little bit shocking. And I don't think you could have gotten that contrast with a human, because they would have shown anger and more emotion. And the fact that she can go and do that and come back and just in a nice, lilting, pleasant voice talk to her son, it's just like, whoa, that was creepy. So. And maybe also, too, because now you don't know what to expect from her. Or even Father, for that matter, because he has whatever that, heart or whatever you want to call it. It is from another android. So maybe Father isn't quite the pacifist he previous was either. So
no, it's from the android who was the other soldier android. Right.
So
I think, interesting. You make a good point. And a lot of times there's been stories and shows and whatever where the protagonist, if you will, starts out bad and then tries to redeem themselves and finds their humanity later. So maybe that's the point of it, is that she starts off as evil, basically, or has, or it's like humans have different facets of their personality. They're not always good. They're not always bad. There's different parts of them. So she's exploring her dark side, as it were.
Sure.
And then trying to overcome that and find her humanity and not necessarily be quite so bad, which means that she's getting Father to help, and her attachment to Campion is important, and just that'll help her be humanized more, maybe, if people even want to be human anymore. I mean, what's the point of that, right?
And you're kind of going the other way with Travis Fimmell's character. He was on the side of the necromancers, and he and his girlfriend or fellow soldier, whatever you want to call it, are now impersonating the religious folk and pretending to be on their side. So, like you said with his character, which way is he going to go? Because he obviously, knew right away that Mother was an android, and he still, tried to take camping. I don't know. That's another complex character, because what are his actual true motivations? Because now him and his girlfriend, bonded with the kid of the people they replaced while they were in transit and in their augmented reality, and now they're fighting for him. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's definitely exploring what it means to be human, and principles therein, and what you stand for. I saw people kind of describing, oh well, here's HBO with another Westworld, and I don't think it's that. I think it's different. So
yeah, I mean, Westworld does explore what does it mean to be human, because you can make the case that in Westworld the androids are actually more human than the people, right?
Right.
In some ways, or they have more humanity or whatever than the humans.
Right.
But in this, I think that it's going to be more like, I feel like Travis Fimmell's character is more like he's going to transform. I don't know. It's all about the nature of humanity, but also about parenthood and about taking care of kids and protecting the innocent. And I think the fact that they bonded with this, I think his first instinct was survival. It's like, let's take places with these guys,
sure, and get off,
and then we can survive because we can get the hell off the planet.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, maybe not all of these people are bad, because here's a child that needs a parent, and so now I can become. I wonder if we'll get more of his backstory. I feel like he's just sort of got dropped into this, and we don't really know enough about him in his past.
I think we will, but
yeah, I'm sure we will. We'll probably explore if there'll be flashbacks or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's an interesting guy, and I think that he'll become, in some ways, I wonder if he'll end up being an ally with Mother at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I almost kind of picture, despite how antagonistic they are currently, that that will be like the team that saves humanity, or saves the kids or whatever. So
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah,
right?
I did find it kind of interesting that whoever created the show, whoever came up with the story, decided to do kind of a religious war thing between religious fanatics essentially and atheists, and that was to me kind of a edgy choice, because I mean, that's a pretty hot button topic right now in the U.S., especially, is religion and Christianity. Even though I think they worship the sun or whatever, so it's not straight correlation. But it is it's kind of an interesting and edgy and maybe a dangerous topic to pick, but they're not shying away from it, which I thought was kind of cool.
Well, the guy who created the show, Aaron Guzikowski, if I'm saying that right. He also wrote the movie Prisoners, also directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Okay.
But he, according to his Wikipedia page, I just looked him up because I'd like to be informed of things right at the last minute. He was raised Catholic, but then is not practicing anymore. So obviously he has some experience with religious, I don't want to say fundamentalism, but with structured religion, and perhaps he feels like it was, not something worth exploring since he doesn't practice anymore. So he's working out his feelings about religion by making a TV show where there's religious fundamentalists versus,
he has a few things to work out.
He's got some things to work out, which is fine. I'm happy for that. And, you do you in your really expensive HBO Max therapy session. That's cool. But I do think you're right. I do think it's a challenging, a hot button topic right now. And I wonder if that was always the context of the show. I wonder if it sort of evolved into that based on, the last couple of years of events during development. It kind of, morphed into that somehow.
Sure.
But maybe not. Maybe it was always supposed to be that.
Yeah, no. And, thankfully for him and for us, because it's fine entertainment, he, got Ridley Scott involved. And again, I mean, I can't say it enough that Ridley Scott just knows how to world build. And although, the name of the planet is Kepler 22, so it almost fits in line with the naming of planets in the Aliens universe. So, if they wanted to, maybe they'll find out that this planet is full of xenomorphs in the third season. But
well, I assume it's in the same universe.
Yeah, most likely it is. It seems like Ridley kind of does everything that's in the same universe.
It's all canon for him, right?
Yeah, and he's he is an fantastic filmmaker, and it's I think this is the first TV stuff he's ever done. So I would say him directing the first 2 episodes definitely elevated it and gave it kind of a cinematic look. I know everyone's like, oh, this is like a movie on TV, and I think at this point there's really no difference. I mean, it's only budgetary differences that are going to make something look more TV-ish than cinematic at this point, and obviously they have a lot of money behind this because it shows on screen. But it
does. It only breaks down during like some of the battle sequences.
Yeah.
Because they don't have as many extras and stuff.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that's okay. They spent a lot of money on a spaceship that has crashed, and visual effects and mother flying around.
Yes.
Actually, Kepler 22b is a real place.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it was discovered by the Kepler telescope like 5 or 6 years ago. So it's actually a real place. So.
Okay. So
who knows? Maybe. But yeah, I feel like you're right. I feel like that's a planet that could survive, could exist in the Alien or Prometheus universes.
Yes.
Because it's a quick step from Mother and Father. Strangely enough, of course the computer in Alien was Mother.
Yes.
To David. I mean, they're basically the same thing.
Well, and he's his androids are always consistent when they have white liquid comprising their blood, just like on all the Alien movies. So yeah,
just like Ash.
Yes. So. But yeah, no, I am totally on board for the season. The acting is spot on and pretty fantastic. I don't know that I've ever seen anything Amanda Collin has been in previously, but she's just fantastic as Mother.
I have not either. Yeah, she's great, and the kids are really good too. It's hard to get kids to do stuff sometimes, but all the kid actors are really good, especially the guy who plays Campy, and I think he's really good.
Oh yeah,
too.
But yeah, some of the new kids they inherit are
the new kids on the block.
Yeah, are great actors. I know I'm gonna just hack his name, but Abubakar Salim as father. He's great. Especially, I like his little tick of wanting to tell jokes all the time. It's really funny.
Yeah, that's definitely I feel like that's something David would have tried to do too. I have to rate all robots by David now. From
I would agree, because that was kind of,
or all Ridley Scott robots at least, not Ash, because Ash was he was conflicted.
Yes,
I felt bad for him because he wanted to preserve the alien, but also he didn't care about the crew so much. He was just trying to follow that directive. But then
he was kind of like Hal, but
he was a little bit like Hal, although he was kind of a little bit conflicted, but not too conflicted, but a little bit crazy, because you're right, it is like Hal. Absolutely. It just took a second to click for me. Apparently I'm conflicted too. But yeah, that's exactly right. It's like I can't deal with this problem, so the crew needs to die.
Right. I have to eliminate.
But why do I have to choke Ripley with a rolled up Playboy? That doesn't make any sense. Well, but that's the 70s for you.
Only in the 70s could that happen.
Only in the 70s can you choke a woman with a rolled up porno mag.
Yes, but no,
that's still a weird scene to me, but whatever.
Well, it is. But yeah, I think I would agree. I mean, maybe I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but David seems to be kind of the quintessential Ridley Scott android, and kind of where it feels like he's figured out exactly how he wants his androids to be. So yeah,
but it all comes from Ash first.
Exactly, it does.
Good old Ash.
Bishop had a little bit to do with it, but he's not really a Ridley Scott android. He's a James Cameron android. But
that's true. But he still has the white milky blood, or whatever. Especially when they do the thing with the knife. Bishop. Oh, sorry. We should do a James Cameron deep dive too, man. Now I'm sad about Bill Paxton.
I know. I was just going to say Bill Paxton.
Son of a gun.
Poor.
Why does that kind of shit happen? That sucks.
I don't know. There's too much of it going on right now, unfortunately. So too many reminders.
Game over, man. Okay. Gosh.
Yes.
Now I don't know where to go from here. Oh, you're not watching The Boys, right? Because you don't care about that.
I'm gonna watch it. I don't know when. But like I said, I started reading the comics. I think I don't know how many issues I got through before I was like, Jesus Christ, forget this. And I think I read the ending just to see how it ended. But we can do that now. But I will.
Sorry.
I will watch the show and we'll talk about that at some point. But
all right. Well, I'm watching season 2. Here's the thing that bothers me. Amazon, if you're listening, fuck you for not dropping all the episodes at the same time. That's ridiculous.
They're not doing that with season 2?
No, you did it for the first season, and now you're holding out. I don't understand. Wow. You know what? Here's what I want. I want you to drop all the episodes and let me decide if I want to watch them all in like a 12-hour period, or I want to wait and watch them every week, because I can do that. Do it just be consistent. Don't be assholes about it and hold shit back. That's not cool.
I didn't know they did weekly releases on their TV shows. I thought
no, they released the first 2 or 3 episodes, and now they're waiting for a week for the next one. It's bullshit.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what HBO Max did with.
I don't like it, Joe. I don't like
Raised
it
by
all.
Wolves. They released the first 3 episodes, and then we're going to get 2 more episodes, and then they're going to be weekly. Well, I don't like that. I want it all.
I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now the whole idea of binging is in the zeitgeist, whatever you want to call it. It's a thing. It's out there now. So just give us everything and we'll decide when we want to watch it. I mean, I might wait a week, but HBO is notorious for waiting a week between everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even back to Game of Thrones, which annoyed the shit out of me, but, I understand how you have to make television. I mean, I understand how you make television, but now you could have shot all that in advance and just released it all at once.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, so CBS All Access for Star Trek Discovery is going to release it weekly, but the whole season is finished. So I'm like, why not... Just the same thing with Mandalorian. The whole season is finished, but they're going to do it weekly. Too. It's like just drop it and let us watch it at our own pace. So,
well, I'm sure they're worried about. I'm going to re-up my CBS All Access for a month so I can watch all this shit, and then I'm going to cancel it again.
Well, or you just
that would probably happen.
You wait till the whole season airs, and you do that anyway. So, I mean, people that are going to we're going to do that if you drop the whole season are going to figure out a way to do it anyway. So. That's my opinion. So I'm just like, just give us the whole thing.
I agree. The cat's out of the bag, or the box is open, whatever you want to call it. That shit's happening. So just release the stuff. Let people watch it how they want to watch it.
Yeah.
And not try to control everybody. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. Don't control me, man.
Don't tell me what to do, man. Yeah. All right. The only thing I want to say there's 2 things I want to say about The Boys season 2.
Okay.
One, it's really good.
Okay.
Love Carl Urban. Always will love Carl Urban. The guy is awesome. And he's also the only Judge Dredd. Don't fight me on this.
I want him to do more Judge Dredd.
I do too.
Whether it's a series or more movies, I don't care. But
no offense to Sly Stallone, but Carl Urban is my Dredd forever.
Yeah.
And 2, Karen Fukihara. That's all I want to say.
Okay. All right.
She's awesome in this show.
Okay.
In season 2 especially. She's doing some really good work. She played a character whose name I can't remember in Suicide Squad. But
was she Enchantress in Suicide Squad?
No, she was the one who had. I mean, I'm not trying to be
Katana.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She had the samurai sword.
Yes,
I don't want to say that, but yes. But she is awesome in The Boys season 2, especially. She's got more work to do, more business, and more of an arc now. But she's awesome. It's such a good show, and the guy who plays Homelander.
I'll watch it. Fine.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, yeah, it's violent and there's blood and shit happens, but it's funny.
It wasn't the violence that I was against. It was that the comic book was violent and gory just for the sake of it, even though some of it was justified by the story. But it was literally Garth Ennis going, "Let's see how disgusting and depraved I can be with superheroes." And it was like, if that's your only shtick, I don't understand that. It's okay. So that went for 6 years on 72 issues. You do that in a 6-issue miniseries and you move on with your life. So anyway.
Well, he moved on to Amazon. So there you go.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well, I'll watch it. But if
you're wrong,
if it's too much like the comic and just there for glorification of violence for no actual story reason, then I'm turning it off. So that's all I'm saying.
I don't know that it's. I mean, there is violence and there is blood and there is, sexual innuendo, etc.
Yeah.
But it's driven more by character, I think, in a lot of ways. But sometimes it's just gratuitous because that's fun for some people. I don't mind when blood flies everywhere and people explode and stuff like that. It's funny to me.
Right.
I mean, in a TV show, not in real life, obviously. But I'm enjoying it. And I like the cast, and again, Carl Urban is awesome, and Karen Vicar. They're all good, but she's a standout right now in this season in particular. So,
well, Carl Urban is usually pretty great too. So
he's awesome. I'm not sure exactly what accent he's doing, but it's fine.
Okay.
It's not exactly Australian. It's not exactly because he's Australian, right? Or he's from New Zealand actually. And the other thing, the guy who plays Homelander is also Australian, but I saw them on a panel together, but they don't sound the same at all. It's just it's very bizarre. I don't understand the whole Kiwi versus Aussie accent thing, but I guess I don't have to. So someone will explain it to me, I'm sure.
I wonder if Carl Urban will end up like Mel Gibson, basically losing his Australian accent because Mel Gibson doesn't have any accent now. So,
well, I think Mel Gibson left Australia when he was like 12 or something. So,
I thought he was still there through Mad Max, but
well, I don't know. We don't talk about Mel Gibson anymore,
okay.
Right?
All right. Well,
is he canceled now?
I have to.
I thought he was.
Consult my notes and scorecard.
I don't know who's canceled anymore.
I don't know. I think he might have been redeemed. I think he might be back. I don't know. We'll see.
No, I think he's still canceled. I
think
he was talking.
Okay.
I have no idea. But I did watch him. I did see a movie with him last year, or I guess this year. I don't know. Time is relative now, but it was called Dragged Across Concrete with him and Vince Vaughn.
I heard about that. I never watched it.
As cops, like bad cops who like do bad things.
I thought he was really good in The Gringo. That was a great movie. And there's one coming up that he's in that sounds actually pretty funny. It's called Fat Man, and he plays Santa Claus, and he leaves a lump of coal for a kid, and it pisses off the kid, so the kid hires a hitman to go take out Santa Claus. And Walton Goggins is playing the hitman. So,
well,
yeah, that might be
a reason to see that right there. Walton Goggins is awesome.
See, so
redeemed. Yeah, I don't know about Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I don't know
maybe someone could tell us who's. I don't know. There should be like a bulletin board or something.
We need a website for this so that it's like
yes, Twitter is good at canceling people, and rightly so. A lot of people are pieces of shit.
Yeah,
and
they should be.
Whatever canceled means. And Mel Gibson has done some shitty things, definitely.
He has.
So
I'm just saying we need a website that has everybody listed, and they're either highlighted red or green, maybe yellow if you want to go. Well, it's your choice. But I need guidance on this because I just don't know anymore.
Well, I guess it depends on if you believe in redemption for people. Can people change? I don't know that they can. I think you're either, if you are a piece of shit, then maybe you're just good at hiding it, and then it comes out.
I think in this situation with like James Gunn, I think words, depending on what was said, when it was said, and in what context, are things that can be worked through. I mean, like James Gunn, I think that is totally fine that he's brought back into for Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's great that he's doing Suicide Squad. He was obviously remorseful. He said on Twitter really dumb things that he said at the time. Hey, listen, I said some really dumb things. And then a few years later, people are like, you said dumb things. We don't like you anymore. He's like, I told you I said dumb things. You didn't listen. So,
yeah.
But then if you go the other extreme with like Kevin Spacey, you don't come back from that. So,
No, he doesn't get another chance. Like Bryan Singer, fuck that guy.
No, he doesn't either. So, I think it is. I think it's.
I don't know enough about what Mel Gibson did, except I think there was tape of him like threatening his ex-wife and saying that he hopes she gets raped or some shit, which is not cool. Obviously,
he said some very racist things. He said some very anti-Semitic
Mel
things.
Gibson then too.
So, yeah, and I don't think he's ever been remorseful for any of that. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
No, he has. I don't think he has either. So you know what? Then never mind.
Yeah.
Cancel him.
So fuck Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, no,
this turned into a great podcast.
Yeah, this is really upbeat. So.
All right, let's end on a high note.
Okay.
A high note. I can't even speak. A high note.
Are we getting high?
On a good.
I don't know. I don't condone that on the
podcast. Two other words for you right now. Ready?
Okay.
Rick Moranis.
Yes.
Is alive. Moranis is alive, baby.
Yes, and it's all thanks to Proof of Life is all thanks to Ryan Reynolds too. Ryan Reynolds continues to do good for the world.
And our good friends at Mint Mobile, who did not sponsor this podcast.
No, they did not. They should. If they want to, they can get in touch with us.
I would take Mint Mobile money. I'm fine with that.
Absolutely. But yes, he is alive.
Yeah, it's great. And people will know what we're talking about by the time this episode comes out. But Ryan Reynolds got Rick Moranis to come on a commercial for Mint Mobile. It was a beautiful thing to see Moranis alive and happy, seemingly happy. And and it was a really highlight of my day. So I was very excited to see that.
That was
He should come back and work some more, and come back to the business if he wants to. If he doesn't want to, you know what, then he doesn't have to, obviously. But it would be great to see him in more stuff. He's a funny man. Also apparently a quite a country singer. I didn't know he had a country album.
I did not know that. I would totally love to see him back in some more movies, but like you said, if he doesn't, that's totally fine because he's given us awesome gifts in the past, and
and it's not, he doesn't owe anybody anything.
No, he does not.
There's a lot of, I think that happens in show business in particular with people, like audiences think that they own the people or something. It's like, oh, you owe us this, you owe us that. Oh, this movie isn't it comes back to what we were talking about before about you didn't make the movie that I wanted you to make.
Yeah, exactly.
You owe me this, you owe me that. It's like, no, nobody owes you shit.
No.
You go make your movie if you want, or enjoy it or don't enjoy it. Pay your money or don't pay your money. That's how you vote. That's your opinion.
Yes.
If you want to go or not, you go or you don't go.
I think a lot of people were angry that he didn't cameo in the 2016 Ghostbusters, and apparently he's not in the new one coming out. But you know what? He doesn't owe us that either. He gave us great performances in the first two Ghostbusters, and that's all that he needed to give us. So I don't
exactly, or he is in the Ghostbusters and then just keep it in secret.
Maybe, but I don't begrudge him that, and I hope he's having a happy life.
People should get their own lives.
Yeah,
he left show business for good reasons.
Yes,
not that we don't want to get into it why, but it's his choice. But anyway, it was great to see him.
Yes,
in there, and his timing is still good. He was still funny as hell in the 30 seconds he was on the commercial.
You know what would be like the greatest thing is if they announce next year that there's going to be a old guys buddy movie with Rick Moranis and Sean Connery. That would be fantastic. But
is Sean Connery even alive?
He is. He just turned 90, and he hasn't done movies in years, and he's retired. And again, he's another one. He doesn't owe us anything. I would love to see, Sean Connery, but in a movie, but maybe. That wouldn't be something.
Maybe you don't want to see that.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, maybe you don't want to see that.
But he's, look at all the movies he's done, and he's another one that he doesn't owe us anything, and he's done, memorable performances and doesn't need to do any more. So, good on him too.
Exactly. So, are we picking stuff today, or have we stopped doing that now?
I think we stopped doing that. I don't have anything for this week, so.
Well, you know what then? I don't either. Oh, or I'll just say go see The Boys 2, or go see it, yes. Go to your living room or wherever your TV is, or your iPad or other tablet.
Or your
phone,
watch The Boys.
Even. Yeah. Or your phone. Yeah. Watch The Boys Season 2. Watch an old movie, or maybe go watch Mulan or something. I don't know.
Or go watch Raised by Wolves. So.
Oh, there you go. Watch Raised by Wolves. That's a good choice,
yes.
too. Yeah, that's excellent. If we haven't spoiled it for you already. So.
Yeah.
It's good, though. It's really good. I'm happy to. You know what's great? Before we go, it's nice to see so much sci-fi.
Oh, yeah,
and
I know.
So many great choices of things to watch. There's so many good shows, and there's so many things coming up that hopefully we'll get to see. If not now, later. But I'm glad that sci-fi never seems to go away, and it seems to be a genre that people like to revisit and bring us a lot of cool stuff. So
well, and it's huge and popular now, which is great because as a kid it used to be, maybe a sci-fi movie here or there, rarely on TV because it was very difficult to do on TV, and when it was done, it wasn't done very well. So to see, as you said, how much sci-fi influenced and driven shows are out and movies now is just phenomenal. It's lovely. I like it.
Me too. Absolutely. Okay. So find the Flickcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and our website. And you can also find us at theflickcast.com. And you can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, at @TheFlickcast, and that's
Patreon.
Oh, Facebook. We're Facebook too.
Yes.
And also, yes, Patreon. We already said that, though. We don't have to keep.
Oh, that's true.
Patreon.
Okay.
But we do have a Patreon, so you can look at all those places. And listen and enjoy. I mean, again, like Joe said at the beginning of the show, if you're listening to this, you probably already know where to find us, but it doesn't hurt to say it again.
Spread the word. Yes.
Spread the word. Tell a friend.
Yes.
And hopefully give us a don't forget to like and subscribe, as they say.
And they'll tell two friends, and so on and so on. Anyway.
That's right. Exactly. So, all right, cool. So for Joe Dilworth, I'm Chris Ulrich, and that was the Flickcast. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, everybody.